Montasio. Natural goodness. Montasio cheese belongs to that great family of Alpine cheeses. It is a natural cheese, still made today as it was in the past. And Montasio is one of the few Italian cheeses to be given the European Union's DOP recognition as a guarantee of its authenticity. Montasio can be enjoyed at each of its different stages of maturity: young, half-year, mature and extra mature, each with its own intense characteristics. The taste changes from fresh and delicate when it is young to become stronger and more aromatic as it matures. Its appearance also changes from relatively soft and white with its characteristic partridge eye air bubbles when it is young and fresh to become more grainy and crumbly as it ages. The smooth, elastic rind of the young Montasio becomes drier and darker, a light amber colour with age. A high-quality cheese such as Montasio can only be produced by following certain well-defined rules which govern every aspect of its production. The fundamental factor is its area of origin, Friuli Venezia Giulia in northeast Italy, with its 4 provinces of Udine, Pordenone, Gorizia and Trieste, and the eastern area of the Veneto, Belluno and Treviso, and parts of the provinces of Padua and Venice. The first guarantee of the quality of Montasio cheese is the quality of its raw material, and in fact, the characteristics of the milk are closely connected to the environment, the climate and the vegetation. And the cleanliness of the cow's hooves and udders is no less important in ensuring complete hygiene at the start of the cheese-making process. The initial squirts of milk are kept separate and not used. The rules laid down by the Montasio Consortium give clear and precise instructions for the procedure to follow during milking, because this affects both the quality and the quantity of the milk obtained. The teats are disinfected immediately after milking with a special solution which does not leave any residue in the milk. The cows are fed on maize and forage, grass, hay and straw, to ensure a suitable fibre intake. Their diet is enriched by special vitamins, minerals and proteins, which are indispensable for producing a milk rich in high-quality nutrients. As soon as it is collected, the milk is stored in special cooled containers and kept at a temperature of not less than 4 degrees centigrade in order to maintain its physical, chemical and natural enzyme balance. The milk is then taken in insulated tanks to the dairies where it is made into the finished product. All the milk, which will eventually be transformed into Montasio cheese, undergoes a series of systematic tests. Samples of milk from the individual farms are analysed by state-of-the-art equipment designed to determine the fat, protein, lactose, biochemical and dry residue content. These parameters are determined in order to establish the nutritional characteristics of the milk, and because they have a direct influence on the taste and aroma of the cheese. A fluorescent microscope measures the cytological index, that is, the level of somatic cells, and the total bacterial content. Both these measurements must fall within established values as a guarantee of the hygienic and sanitary conditions of the farm and its cows, and therefore of the milk which will be turned into Montasio cheese. As foreseen by European legislation to guarantee the quality of all foodstuffs, samples of the milk and its derivatives undergo periodical microbiological analysis to ascertain that there are no undesirable microorganisms present. Furthermore, the rules governing the production of Montasio cheese require the chemical analysis of the cheese itself to establish the humidity and fat contents, which must fall within a certain range. This test is carried out by grating the cheese, weighing it, and then drying it at temperature. It is then weighed again to determine the percentage of humidity that was present in the cheese. The technique for producing Montasio cheese has evolved over the years, but the basic principles have remained the same over the centuries. We still use the gentle approach, which does not upset the original microbic flora within the milk. This means using only fresh milk which has not undergone heat treatment. This is then poured into containers, usually of copper, but sometimes stainless steel in the more recently built dairies. To control the fermentation process, we use a carefully chosen base product from among those authorized by the Montasio Consortium, or a low-acid primer obtained from fermenting milk after a low-temperature heat treatment. The milk is brought to a temperature of between 32 and 34 degrees centigrade, which stimulates the multiplication of the natural fermentation enzymes in the milk. Natural rennet, obtained from drying the cow's stomach, is then added to the heated milk. The transformation into cheese starts with the creation of curd thanks to the reaction of an enzyme called chymosin, which is the active ingredient of rennet. After the addition of the rennet, the cheese begins to form. Like a fishing net, the fibers collect the water, the mineral salts, the fats and the proteins in the milk. After about 20 or 25 minutes, the curds are cut using a modern version of the traditional instrument, a so-called lyre. At the same time, the temperature of the curds is raised to between 42 and 48 degrees centigrade. While continuing to stir, the soon-to-be cheese continues to be heated for a further 20 to 25 minutes. A combination of the effect of the stirring with the lyre and the thermal change means the cheese granules, about the size of grains of rice, form and separate from the whey. As soon as the curds reach the acid level and solidity desired, the curds and the whey are separated. The Montasio cheese is still sometimes scooped out in cloths. Although in larger dairies, a mechanical process is now used. cheese forms are placed into presses to help to eliminate excess liquid. The pressure must be sufficient to give the cheese a uniform density with a regular distribution of humidity. As the forms are taken out, they are placed in the typical bands to give the Montasio cheese its characteristic shape and to emboss on the rind the markings which show its origin and the name Montasio written diagonally as specified by the rules of production. In the final phase, in addition to the name Montasio, there are also added the date of production, year, month and day, and an ID number to identify the dairy where it was made, so the cheese is completely traceable. The forms are then turned, returned to the press, and left for a further 24 hours. The bands are then removed before the next phase. It is now time for the salting. The salting process completes the action of eliminating liquid by attracting water to the outside and helping the rind to harden. There are two kinds of salting, dry and with brine. Dry salting is carried out manually and involves spreading salt over the cheese forms. Brine salting involves immersing the forms in a 16 to 18% saltwater solution for about 48 hours. The forms of Montasio are then placed in storage to mature for at least 2 months. In fact, a young Montasio cheese is eaten at between 60 and 120 days. The so-called half-year Montasio is matured for between 5 and 10 months, while the mature cheese is from 10 to 18 months old, and the extra mature Montasio is matured for over 18 months. For cheese forms which have been matured for over 100 days and are completely free from any defect, the producer can request a further stamp for quality to be branded onto the rind. The consortium to guarantee the quality of the ingredients and standards in the production and storage of Montasio cheese was founded in 1984 and now has the responsibility of defending and protecting all aspects of the production and sale of Montasio and of safeguarding its special characteristics. Montasio is special both in form and in substance. It is a cheese with its own unique taste, balance, and with a high nutritional value. When it is eaten alone, it offers a different sensation depending on its maturity. When it is young, there is still the taste of the milk used to produce it. At the half-year stage, it is more aromatic. When mature and extra mature, it has a more decisive taste, ideal for those who appreciate stronger flavours. But Montasio cheese is also suitable as an ingredient in cooking. appetizers to first courses. From main dishes to side plates, Montasio is an indispensable ally in the kitchen, and even goes well with sweet dishes. Whenever you want the taste of an honest, appetizing cheese, just ask for Montasio.